Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Rucci. Today we're chatting about all things cliches. I've been finding myself saying this phrase so often, and that is cliches are cliches for a reason. I know sometimes our immediate reaction is to roll our eyes or scoff at those cheesy life quotes that are plastered on t-shirts or we see floating all over social media. But I've actually found quite a few of them to be pretty effective and, as one would hope a cliche would, apply to real life situations. Most importantly, I feel like they've helped me wake up and snap out of autopilot and really just live in the present, embrace life for what it is, and live a much more happy, optimistic, and opportunistic life. As we inch back into normalcy post-pandemic, I definitely found myself trying to navigate what a comfortable pace of life was, and like many, there were times where I got completely carried away and just was so go, go, go and stuck in the hustle and bustle of things that I started to feel very disconnected and almost like I was just going through the motions without taking the time to soak everything in. Instead of constantly waiting for the next thing or feeling like time is slipping out of your hands while you're just watching your life go by, here are 6 simple yet substantial truths that help me snap out of it and live my life more wholly. One is most things take way less time than the time we spend avoiding them. Whether it's that email that you've been putting off, that phone call that you've been procrastinating on, or that 10-minute workout that you have been avoiding, you've probably spent more time dreading it than it would actually take to do the task. This is such a self-sabotaging behavior that has an extreme domino effect because not only are we affecting the current moment where we choose to procrastinate on the task, but we're also causing a sort of decision-making fatigue by constantly thinking about this thing that we are putting off, choosing to put it off, which in turn prevents the thought from being completely wiped from our mind and instead has it pestering on the back burner in our brains. This will naturally keep popping up, keep inducing feelings of anxiety, and if you keep choosing to procrastinate, you'll only make the situation worse. You say we'll do it tomorrow, but then tomorrow may never come, so just do it now. Avoid the whole issue of draining your energy and giving yourself more tasks for the next day, and just do it now. You'll find your mind to be so much clearer, and this will keep your momentum going and keep you on an upward trajectory. The less you procrastinate, the more in control you feel of your life, and who doesn't want to feel that? Number 2 is wherever you go, there you are. Especially in this day and age, we get caught up in thinking about the next thing that we can accomplish, the next thing we can have, the next thing we can do, the next place we can be, and we attribute our happiness or success on that next thing, which can lead us to forget that the beauty is not necessarily in the destination. We spend so much time working towards that end goal that is the real joy, that is the real prize, that is the real treat. That is why we call the present the present. It is truly about how present you are in the current moment because that is the only place that is guaranteed. That is the only time and the experience that is guaranteed. The past has come and gone, and the future is not for sure. If we don't learn to be present where we are in life and enjoy what we have in the moment, despite that job that we're thinking about, despite that ideal relationship that we want to be in, despite that fitness goal that we want to achieve, we will never actually be able to get to that point because we cannot make the most of where we are right now. Number 3, decide who you want to be or the world will do it for you. Whether this is about scheduling your priorities, deciding the trajectory of your career path, or even just having a stronger viewpoint of what you want your overall aesthetic to be. That dream version of yourself, what you want that person to look like, smell like, walk like, talk like. These are things you need to decide for yourself. Otherwise, social conditioning will have such a strong impact on your character and ultimately define who you are and how you live your life. The journey will always fill itself with distractions, obligations, and noise, but if you don't consciously carve out time to figure out what matters to you and also put the time in to get to that point, it will never come. So whether that is taking time to figure out who you are as an individual and what your value system is, or what you truly take interest in and what you want to put your time towards when it comes to building a career, it's really important that you prioritize time and space to look inward and really figure out what makes up the life that you want to live. Number 4, joy is in the ordinary. This is a bit like the second cliche that I mentioned, but it's an extension of that. It's really to remind you that there are not extraordinary things that are happening every single day. The influencer lifestyle that you might be exposed to on social media doesn't necessarily always feel the most normal. You're not always going to crazy events. You're not always taking first-class flights to these extravagant resorts and living life on the beach. Oftentimes, it's as simple as sipping on your perfected coffee recipe in your favorite mug in your most comfortable pajamas, or laughing about an old inside joke with your best friend or your partner. Noticing these little things and appreciating the most mundane moments in life is what helps you romanticize the overall journey and really appreciate the things that matter. It is not always that destination or those grandiose things that bring you the most joy, but it's living through the littlest things that make you realize what life is truly about and what a gift it really is. Number 5, you can do anything, but not everything. Now, I'm a big believer and strong advocate of humans being multifaceted and multidimensional, But I do believe that we are not meant to do everything there is out there, and even if we want to try our hands at those things, we cannot do everything at once. The idea of having it all and being a jack of all trades is extremely exhausting and oftentimes unattainable. It leads to burnout. It can have such a detrimental effect on our idea of productivity and how we think we should be living our lives, and ultimately does not necessarily lead to fulfillment. Choosing what actually matters to you and living a life of purpose not only gives us direction, but also puts us on a path of positivity. It allows us to feel like the work that we are doing and the things that we are putting our time into actually have impact. Let go of the rest and allow yourself to understand that just because you have chosen to let go of those things does not mean that you have failed. Understand that you are trying to live a life with more intention and more focus, and there's so much beauty in that. Even in the cases that we like to do multiple things, we do not need to monetize them. This has become such a common problem nowadays because we often find ourselves thinking that because we are putting our time or our energy into a hobby like Pilates, like painting, or even something like coding and computer science, it doesn't need to be seen as an immediate money-making machine. Something can be completely marketable, but you should still allow yourself the joy and the time and the freedom to try it and not be good at it, or try it and be excellent at it, but not have that pressure of turning it into something that makes you income. Very quickly, you'll realize that if you start to do this with everything that you put your time into, your life will constantly feel like a never-ending task list, and you will never feel like you're giving yourself the opportunity to sit back and unwind. And last but not least, one that I have found so much value in as of late, you do not have to feel like it to do it. Motivation is overrated. As we know, emotions are fickle and they're ever changing, but we really need to understand that following the plan does not necessarily mean following the mood. Especially if you're trying something new or incorporating a new habit into your life, like waking up at 5 a.m. or going to the gym after a really long hiatus. You're not necessarily going to feel like doing the thing, but if you have this plan and have the direction drawn out of the goal that you want to get to, all you have to do is follow the plan. Chances are, especially if this is a goal that you've decided is important to you and it's something that you want to achieve, you will feel good doing the thing once you get started on it. It's just about getting started. Something that can help you snap out of it in the moment and just kind of get to doing the thing is the 5-second rule. So count down from 5, allow yourself to feel the emotions and the dread of getting started, and then just jump out of bed and do it. If it's something like waking up at a particular time and knowing that if you keep your phone or alarm clock beside your bed, you will immediately hit snooze, put your phone or alarm clock on the other side of the room. That will force you to get out of bed. These truths might sound simple, but truly they are so effective, and we often find in our human experience that we need to overcomplicate things just to give ourselves the opportunity to procrastinate further or distract ourselves from the main goal. But ultimately, the simplicity in these goals has made it so easy to wrap my mind around them and see how truly life-changing they can be. Let me know down in the comments if any of these cliches really resonated with you, or if there's a phrase in your life that has really made a difference. If you've been feeling like life is passing you by and you're just going through the motions on autopilot, it is absolutely not too late to change things. Even the simplest of changes can make the biggest differences. That's all for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe so you don't miss my next one. Until I see you guys then, take care.